Yeah, I told him to go look. Good evening. Is the frequency in use? Very good. This is K4PEW, net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? All righty. If there is, you need help, just give us a call. We'll help you in any way that we can, but 911 is the best way to handle emergencies, at least in the modern era. Uh-oh. There you go. My phone was biting me. The net may be broken at any time for emergency traffic. Information on the net can be seen on our website on 146415.net. It can also be seen right now on YouTube on either my call. If you look that up in the search block, it's Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. Not just Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. If you look that up, or the word Brain Trusts, it's one word, BRAINTRUSTS. And the last would be YouTube, but no, not on YouTube, on what do you call it? Yahoo. And that's on one. You should look up MJ_SS. Can't get my words straight. MJ_SS. And let's see. Yeah, those are the ways you can meet. And you can, of course, we conduct the net on 146415 Simplex every Wednesday and Saturday night at 8 p.m. As most of you already know. And we're here to support and train ham radio operators. And our purpose is to have fun. And hopefully we do have fun. Last net we had 20 or so, and the week before that, or the net before that, we had 29. So somebody's having fun. All right, we invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events and activities in support of the local ham community. It's a directed net, and all traffic should be handled by net control. Is there anyone with announcements? All right, nothing heard. Well, the big announcements, of course, as you know, are the monster ones. Today's Wednesday, so Thursday night, that's tomorrow night, there is a Wilson County Amateur Radio Club net at 8 p.m. tomorrow night on 147.105 with a plus offset and a 156.7 PL. And handled very nice Aries information net on Thursday nights. And of course, we have our net again on Saturday. So. And then in 2 weeks, a week from Saturday, we have another breakfast. That's all I got. Anybody have any more announcements, or do they need corrections, or do they need information, or is there anything else? All righty. Well, by the way, this is net number 484. Hard to imagine. And tonight we're starting from the east, so we'll be taking check-ins starting from the east. Please come down.
W84 is that HI.
Hey, how you doing, James? Hanging in there today on a beautiful day?
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Oh, it is. It's been great today. I didn't spend a lot of time out there, but I was out there last night mowing the yard, and it was just so nice and cool and pretty, and, you know, maybe you want to just shoot some of the moles and groundhogs out there.
I think we have a few sprinkles of water, but rain, but I don't know.
There was some today, yeah, but it didn't last long. All righty, good to have you in there, James. I hope to see you at the next breakfast. You missed the last one, so we looking forward to seeing you again. Anyway, they're good to have you in there. It's James, Whiskey Alpha 4, Zulu Hotel, India, and he is right here in Mount Juliet. Who else east of Mount Juliet Road?
Hello, India 4, Sierra, India Bravo.
Hey, how you doing there, Richard? Sound pretty good. You're on your home station, and are you at the lower height, are you?
I'm at the lower height on 25 watts and sitting in the house.
You got a good, strong signal and good, clear audio, so nothing to complain about there.
Well, that's good. I'm hoping how well this little booger does, because that's what I'm planning on putting in my go box when I get it built. I got one question for the net. If anybody can help me out, if anybody can find this service manual or schematic for a TYT TH 7800, I'm in dire need of that. If I can find a copy of it, yeah, for SIB back to net. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. In case you couldn't hear Richard, he's looking for a service manual for a TYT TH 7800. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but his original thought was he blew the finals, but we're not sure about that. TH 7800 made by TYT. Anybody with a service manual, they can either lend, copy, or digitize, or whatever. All right, good to have you in there, Richard. That was Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. He is over there in Lebanon. Who else? East of Mount Juliet?
KB4 SFN.
Hey, Tom, how are you doing?
Better than I deserve. Just want to say hello, everybody on the net. Hope you have a good net tonight. This is KB4 SFN. Same as
Yeah, very good, Tom. Good to hear you in there. Tom is in Martha, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Martha, Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Foxtrot November. Great signal. You sound good, Tom. We're looking forward to the net tomorrow night. You doing the net tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. If I can finagle someone else into doing it, I like to have a lot of different people do it. If anybody's interested, let me know. KB4 SFN.
I got you. Well, you've been doing that net how many years? More or less, I mean, not consistently, but you've been on doing net control on that for how long?
I think it's about 108 years the last time I took count.
Yeah, and those are dog years.
Jeepers, I'm not sure. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I was surprised to realize it was 400 and something when I started counting these and saying it at the beginning of the net, because it sounds like a lot.
Okay, good luck on the net tonight. KB4 SFN.
Yeah, very good. Again, that was Tom, Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Foxtrot November in Martha. Who else we got? East of Mount Juliet, please come in.
November 4, November Yankee Alpha. Good evening. Just having a regular day here.
Yeah, very good. It's a nice regular day today, wasn't it, Dan?
It was okay. It's all right. Having a little trouble with a knee. Looks like I may have to get a partial replacement on it. So I'm ready to do it because it's keeping me from living the way exercising, all that stuff. So I'm ready to get it done.
Oh, I hear you. I have similar issues. I know that in the future with my hips, with same thing my mother had. I'll eventually. Well, I guess I'm hoping not to, but have hip replacements.
Well, that's probably on the menu for some years down the road because I definitely have a bad one. But if I get this knee fixed, I'll be tons better, tons. But anyway, good evening to everybody on the net. I'll turn it back over to Net Control. Take it away. N4 NYA.
Yeah, very good. That's Dale. He's in Lebanon, and that's November 4, November Yankee Alpha, and he's the EC for Wilson County Emergency Management over there, which doing a fine job. Who else? East, please come down.
Okay,
Hey, Stan. Hadn't heard you in a while.
Hey, Paul, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, pretty good. It's been a funny, for those that weren't aware, it's been an odd week because my mother, as you know, most of you know, my mother lives with us, and my mother-in-law was living with us, and she passed away on Monday, and here it is, what's today, Wednesday, and I just took my mother over to the hospice in downtown Nashville because just to kind of do a better evaluation of what's going on. I mean, she's doing semi-okay, but she's going to be doing a little better over there under constant surveillance and with us here. So it's been kind of a funny week.
Sorry to hear about your health.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I said, my mother-in-law was 95 and my mother is 91, excuse me. And yeah, she's got a lot of problems, and the prospects aren't good, and that's why she's in hospice, but such is life, I mean, it is horrible. I mean, especially when it's your mother, but it's not like it's something that's unexpected at this point. But anyway, good to have you in there, Stan. I appreciate the condolences, and good to have you. Anything else for the net?
That's it, Paul. That's it. KM4HQ.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to follow the announcements of death and impending death on the air. That was Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo, and that's Stan. He's also in Lebanon. Who else we got east?
Short easy.
Hey, Earl. How is your bad self?
Just there you go, bad to the bone, I guess. But everything's copacetic over here and whatnot. Just enjoying a little bit of the weather change. There you go. Got a little walk around the yard with my little four-legged friend today. Whatnot. She needs more leash training. Kind of like if she's watching, kind of like he's walking too. Okay.
Yeah. What did you say you were taking for a walk? I'm sorry, my phone distracted me momentarily.
My dog. I got her out on a tether when she's out in the yard and everything. When she goes, does takes care of her business. But I thought I would let her have a little extra exercise and walk all around the yard today.
Yeah. How big a dog is it?
She's about medium-sized dog, I guess. It's cross with she got some lab in her. I don't know what. I don't think she's full-blooded because she's kind of, she's long-legged, but she's small-bodied. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I got you. I know lots of it's. In other words, big dogs are a bigger pain in the butt, really.
Yeah, they're a little bit. I don't know. She got a pretty good demeanor about her, I guess, is the way to anyway, personality or whatever. I don't know which one of us has the worst issues. It's kind of like a toss-up, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I've got 5 dogs, so I'm familiar with the problems of dogs. Well, very good, Earl. Good to have you in there. And that's Earl over there in Noreen, just east of Cedars of Lebanon. It's Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. Good to have you in there, Earl. Sound good tonight? Who else we got east? Please come in.
Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo, Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, how are you doing tonight, Jeff?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. I want to apologize for your passing of your mother-in-law.
Oh yeah, no, she had well, let's put it this way. It's hard to get over that, even though it's not my mother's. She lived with us for, I think this month was 3 years. And so it's, takes a big part out of what's in our home here. So I appreciate that. It's, those are the kind of things I'm not going to say they're difficult to overcome, but it's difficult to forget that she's, a woman, the person's not here anymore,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, very good, Jeff. Sound good. Whiskey Delta 4, Bravo, Whiskey Charlie, also in Lebanon. Who else we got east? Please come now.
All right, I guess there ain't nobody else. KG4 Muzzy.
Hey, Antenna Man, how you doing, Kevin?
Doing pretty good. Telling you, Paul, I don't know what's going on. I got one antenna that's acting up, another one that's acting too good. I can't figure it out. Well, I guess I could if I spent some time on it, but I'm not doing it right now. I'm on strike. KG4 Muzzy, back to you, Paul.
So Alicia told me you were not on strike.
Oh, no, I'm on strike.
Well, I tell you what, you see, you were living up to your own title. Well, I don't know if that's the right title, your own logo, I guess. When you said you do everything the hard way, and on that antenna we talked about yesterday and this morning, you did it hard way the first time.
Yeah, of course, man. You know me. I tell you, if it ain't the hard way, it ain't no way with me.
Yeah, well, you could have made it worse, and you could have made those elements out of, like hardened steel. They could have made it a lot worse.
Yeah, I guess. But that one seems that surprises me. That one there does. After cutting just surprised me putting that space in there. Everything's good on it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear. We got to still get maybe tomorrow morning or something. We can look up and see how that signal strength is to me on 70 centimeters.
All right, yeah, that ain't no problem. We can do that.
All right, and that is now that's set up for FM normally. That's the way yeah, because that I don't know, is it? I'd have to think about that. Is that antenna good for? It's I straight. I mean, is it a vertically oriented antenna?
Tell you the truth, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think I'm gonna do a test with it standing up, long ways, and vice versa what it is now. I think I'm gonna try that and see how that works out. I think it may be horizontal. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I got you. I'm not writing that guy again to ask him any more questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to send that out. I'm going to send that web page out to people so they can take a look at that antenna. It is unique and it looks like a fun thing to have. Unfortunately, it's 70 centimeters, which isn't a lot going on there unless, well, there's just not like one. Anyway, that was Kevin, Kilo Golf 4, Mike India Zulu. He's over in just west of downtown Lebanon, and he is trying to figure out another antenna to build. Who else we got east? Please come in.
W4EBX.
Man, looks like we're going to have a full house tonight if Eddie's here. How you doing, Eddie?
Doing fairly well. Just been enjoying these nice days here lately and trying to get some stuff done. Got granddaughters going to spend the night, so just keeping busy. Hope everybody's doing okay.
Yeah, well, I've been keeping busy, but not very productive. Taking care of my mom it's busy, but it's not. Well, I get stuff done. It's just not noticeable to anybody but me and her.
Yeah, but it pays off in the long run.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not complaining. It's a busyness. I would have loved to have been able to avoid, but that's just the way it is. Well, good to have you in there, Eddie. That was Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-ray. And he's over here he's over there in Gladeville, south of 40. Looking for anybody else east before I move on?
Check.
Hey, Richard. Go ahead. Richard.
Paul?
Yeah, go ahead. There we go with that alligator station again, Richard.
I know it, Dad. I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry to hear about your mother-in-law. I had no idea. But I will announce it on the other frequency in the morning if you want me to.
I'm going to try to be there in the morning, but we shall find out. That'd be great. Hey, if I'm not there, please do.
Okay, I'll do it. And I'm sorry. If there's anything we can do, let me know.
I get you. It's a pretty quiet house here today. This is the first I've been home, and actually, my mother was gone at lunch, but then I went down to the place. Really, really nice. In case anybody has any interest in that stuff, the hospice, the Alive. It's called Alive Hospice down in. I guess they have a couple of places, but that one's downtown off of Charlotte in Nashville, or Charlotte and 17th. Anyway, I appreciate that, Richard. And anybody else east, please come in. Up to the north, please come now. Anybody north of Lebanon Road?
KB9 or KK.
All right, very good. How you doing, Frank?
Oh, I'm doing better today. Got sick really bad over the weekend. At work, there's something going around. It's weird. No fever, but nausea, just can't breathe. Now it's in my chest. It's coming out. It's getting better. And I hope so, because I got a 2-day class I got to teach for service training. So that starts tomorrow. So I'm like, oh boy, I got to get over this quick. But that's, it is what it is. Sorry to hear, about your mother-in-law, but I guess we all have to eventually deal with that ourselves.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just sure it's not that African swine flu that's killing millions of pigs around the world.
Not, I hope not. It's been going around for like over a month or so that there's a lot of people saying it's in the vent system, and it sounds funny, but it could be.
Oh yeah, no, there's the last company. Well, I've dealt with that for many years, but indoor air quality and duct works that you can get something in there with it could be anything from mold and spores that affect people. There's all kinds of things that can grow in damp, dark places that are cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Remember the cruise ship where everybody got sick? Yeah. Oh boy, no, nothing like that. No projectile vomit that I know of. But it's been hitting everybody. You miss about 2 days. I got fortunate that the 2 days that I missed was on my weekend. I didn't have to burn up vacation days.
Oh yeah, no, I know the deal. I've been very fortunate. I haven't had a cold or a flu in several years, so I don't know how I've been avoiding that, but I have. All right, Frank, good to have you in there, and I'm glad you're on the mend, and I hope you make the class. And hey, you better get to bed. That'll solve part of the problem. What do you say the class is tomorrow?
Yep, about 8 to 5, and then I got to entertain a little bit. You know, we don't we have dinner being catered in, so I don't have to take them out or go downtown or anything, which is good. And then it picks back up on Friday morning, and we're done. I cut them loose at 3. They all have to go to the airport. So they fly in. I only got 7 people this time. I have anywhere between 6 to 16 people, depending on how many people sign up.
Yeah, they're paying for that?
Actually, we provide it at no cost. But they pay for it with lost production. They're pulling how many other guys off the road that would make them money. And, they work for hundreds of different vendors. So these guys are service guys for so many different brands. So to come to one training class, they lose money that way. So we compensate them we pay for their hotel, the class, and all their bills.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we had, in fact, I used to do some of that myself, and I did some of the training sometimes, but oftentimes I got a guy from the factory directly into a local place down in Florida. And I managed to get a free room for teaching, and it was a classroom with the school system. And the guy says, yeah, I can get you a room. And he told me where it was. And turns out, now try to imagine this, I had like 12 or 16 men, grown men, sitting in an elementary school classroom in those little desks in the little chairs.
That would have been a funny picture. I know when I went back to visit my grade school, I was sitting there going, how did I fit in that?
Yeah, exactly. All right, very good. It was Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo, and more, not Kilo, but Romeo Kilo. And he's in Northwest Wilson County. Good to have you in there, Frank. I hope you're feeling better by tomorrow to make the class work well. Who else? West or North, please come up.
Echo 4, Romeo Victor, Quebec.
Hello, Brent. You doing well? I ain't heard from you in a week or so.
Yeah, doing good, Paul. Sorry to hear about your loss. Been there, done that. I understand the pain that goes with it.
Oh yeah, it's as I say, I've said this before, not here, but I've said it before to myself, is because I know it's true. Even when you anticipate someone's, passing through because they're sick or whatever, whatever the deal is, they have an ongoing problem with cancer or some other problem, and even though that's it's coming, it's still somehow there's a little, a shock that happens to you when they say, okay, they pat you. Oh, it's like it's not even something you expect to happen in your brain, but it does.
Yeah, it's like getting hit with a baseball right in the face is how I can best explain it.
Yeah, it's just, it's a funny thing about how and even when we look back in time, towards those we love and they're passing, you still you get a twinge of it. It could be 20 or 30 years ago,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think about mine every day.
Yeah, I got you. All right, very good, Brent. You sound great. That's Kilo Echo 4, Romeo Victor, Quebec. You're off this week, aren't you? You're still only working weekends?
Yeah, actually, I go in tonight at midnight, and then I work my regular shift on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. A lot of people would envy your hours,
Yeah, Yeah, I got a job offer this week, pays a lot more, but just the hours were, no, don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know, I got you. Yeah, Brent works like, is it a full 40 or is it less than 40? I don't remember.
I work, it's full time. I work 32 hours a week, and it's all done in 2 days.
Yeah, 32 hours a week in 2 days, and the rest of the week he has off. So some people wouldn't be able to do it if they'd be walking zombie for the last 4 hours every day. But yeah, the rest of the week, that's awesome. All right, very good, Brent. He's also in Northwest Wilson, Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor, Quebec. Good to have you in there, Brent. Who else north? Anybody else north?
Sumner County, W9BOQ, Aries. Oh, wait, wrong net. This is Dennis, W9BOQ.
All right, Dennis. You have your new antenna up yet?
I do. I'm at 100 feet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, you're full scale, and normally you weren't full scale before. You were up there, but not full scale.
You're 45 over. You were usually not S9.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, have you noticed how long have you had it up now?
About 2 hours.
Ah, okay. So I'm guessing that you're going to hear everybody I can hear.
Everybody's been over 20 over except for the last guy. What was his name?
That's Brent, and he's in Northwest Wilson. Northwest Wilson. I don't remember. Brent, are you still there? What kind of antenna are you using?
I am on a 40-foot high J-pole.
Oh, that's why it's a stinking J-pole, man.
Yeah, but everybody's been in the red over S9. And DEZ Earl, he was not quite S9, but I usually can't hear him.
Yeah, oh, that's great though. No, I think we've already discussed this. In fact, I know we have, but you're going to be really surprised at how well some of the stations coming in that you couldn't hear or you heard poorly before.
I'm going to switch to my beam on the fly. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Hit the beam.
700. Here's the beam. And here's a little 440 dipole right there, but this probably isn't working too good.
Well, on the beam, you were only about an S3.
Well, don't forget it's horizontal.
Yeah, and it's pointing in my direction?
It is.
Huh. Yeah, it's really interesting how badly that was. Not bad. I mean, I could hear you fine, but just the signal strength was so low. Huh. Yeah, but no, your audio and your signal strength and the clarity of the signal, the voice is perfect.
I was so nervous. My mouth was so dry. When I cranked it up, I got it all on video. I guess what I'll do is I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I'll send a link to the YouTube video to the email list.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm sure everybody will appreciate that. Yeah, you've got a nice location there for that. But you say the top of it's at 100 feet or the base of the antenna is at 100?
The base of the antenna is at 68 or 69.
Awesome. That is that's great. Yeah, they're going to be the envy of the Sumner County, that's for sure. You know, you'll be able to easily with that beam and easily with that vertical, just like I have been here. It's not unusual for me in the northern Kentucky to hear things if I choose to look in that direction, you know.
What did that 2 meter dipole do?
It was sitting right down at the bottom. Do it again.
2 meter, no, it's not a 2 meter dipole. It's a 70 centimeter dipole.
Yeah, it's nothing. I can hear you fine, and it just sounds, you know, it's got a lot of hash in there, but the voice is just fine. But the meter just sitting there at the bottom resting.
All right, enough about me, Paul. Thanks for the net, Paul. Back to net, W9BOQ.
Yeah, awesome signal, Dennis. You did a great job. I'm looking forward to the video, and I'm sure everybody else too. That's Dennis Whiskey 9 Bravo Oscar Quebec. He's up in Castellan Springs, and he just got his X700 antenna up there at 69 feet or so at the base, and awesome signal. He's hearing everybody, and he's going to hear even more as time goes on. He'll be shocked at how good that antenna works. And of course, he's got a nice elevation with that new tower. Well, new used tower. Who else north? Please come down. Over to the west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County. Please come in.
KN4,
Hey, KN4TJF. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? First of all, I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, yeah, very good. Appreciate it. I get over those things mostly fairly easy. I say that mostly. You know, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It's one of those things. Every time I walk by her room, I expect to see her in there, and she's not there. So, you know, it's one of those kind of deals.
I understand completely. There's a lot of static here tonight. Hopefully that'll be resolved pretty soon. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah, very good. Yeah, it's funny. Your signal is strength on my meter is, well, it doesn't move, but your audio is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good signal for having, you know, from where you are, etc. But I'm expecting great things on that new antenna.
Yeah, me too.
All right, very good. That's Rick. Rick, Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot. He's over in I always want to say Ashcan City, Ashland City, west west of Nashville. With he's working on getting that also that X700 antenna up, which I guess will be in shortly and be up shortly too. All right, who else? West, please come down.
KM4YRF.
Hey, Michael, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, Paul. Sorry for your loss, but.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, it's almost, well, my mother has, because of two things. It's really interesting how when people age, um, she's always had a pretty sharp mind, and then I don't know what's causing it, but I showed her a picture. I was going through. I took my Android with me to the center tonight, and I wanted to show her some pictures of the family that she may not have seen in a while. And they showed her a picture of me, her, and my dad. Nice, clear, bright black and white picture from, say, about 1954 or 1955. And I said, "Have you seen that recently?" And she sat there and stared at it. She goes, "Who is it?" I thought, "Oh man, I'm in trouble." But you know, she just doesn't have the, you know, and it fades. It's like sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. So it just kind of freaks you out.
Yeah, I've dealt with situations like that a lot.
Yeah, I know, and I'd say it was really troubling. It's not troubling. It's just, you know, you just go, "Oh gosh, you know, she's not going to be who she is or was," you know, and also she's been on some painkillers, some morphine, and because of that, she's having some reactions. Like she says, "Hey, what's that on the wall over there?" There's something. And I go, "There's nothing on the wall." Oh, I must be hallucinating, and she was.
Yeah, we had the same thing with my brother-in-law.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's just troubling. Let's put it that way. It's troubling. All right, very good, Michael. You sound good. Are you going to go help Rick when he gets that thing in?
No, he can handle it. No, yeah, I'm going to help him.
Yeah, yeah. You got to send over 3 men and a boy.
I don't know who's the most excited about it, him or me.
Oh, I'm going to be pretty excited. You know, you heard me talking about Dennis's setup over there.
I did, and Dennis was booming in here.
Yeah, Dennis was great. Well, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, I have to get a meter that goes over, you know, to plus 120 or something.
Yeah, my Kenwood, it'll only go over as far as it'll go. There's no more room.
Yeah, I got you. All right, very good, Michael. Yeah, I'm anxious. When do you think that's scheduled in? Do you know?
We're thinking probably Friday.
All right. Hey, listen, if you need some help, call somebody else.
Call Dennis.
Yeah, he really did a nice job, I think, putting up that tower and putting in the concrete and getting it all rigged up. He learned a little bit in the process of what not to do, and of course, that's my favorite method. And Kevin actually pioneered the what not to do first.
I can see that. But anyway, I know Dennis will be just happy that it's over.
Well, it's only over temporarily because there's always the next step.
Yeah, in ham radio, there's always the next thing.
Absolutely. Well, usually it is. You know, you just get itchy to do something else. All right, that was Michael, Kilo Mike 4, Yankee Romeo Foxtrot in Bellshire. Who's up next? West of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County.
Concord
contact.
Yes, Dennis.
I forgot to say sorry about your mother-in-law there, Paul. I lost my mother about a year ago in June. So I know what you're going through. Sorry about that. WNBOQ.
Yep, I appreciate it, and I understand. Yeah, it's one thing, it's interesting, again, when you talk about your mother and your father, or if you have siblings, those are the key ones that mess you up when you lose them. It's more of a loss, obviously, when it happens through some tragic accident or some tragic, instantaneous heart attack or stroke, it just goes, and that's when it's even more troubling. But it's still troubling to lose, close family members. Anyway, I appreciate that, Dennis. Who else? West, please come down. Nobody else west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County, any place west, please come down.
W4AWE.
Were you hesitating because you were checking the map there, John?
No, I was just waiting to make sure I didn't cover somebody up.
Yeah, very good. You must have heard Rick out there really good tonight.
Yeah, I had a good copy on him, and had a good readable copy on Dennis. He's only S3 to me, but a very readable, steady signal. By the way, I know what you're going through right now. I know it's a stressful time, especially, being a caregiver. Sometimes that's the person that doesn't get, any thought. And so just be sure and take good care of yourself right now. Even though things are coming, it's a lot more stressful going through these things than we give it credit for sometimes.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. It's if even in the past weeks or months, and you stop to reflect on something and you go, yeah, it's fun. Well, I'll just give you an example. Comes to mind. It's not to be too graphic here, but I was getting my mother off of the bed, and she could stand. Excuse me, stand to a certain degree, but I have to help her I'd help her by holding her up. Excuse me, and as I was moving her over, it's very, very tiny steps getting her over to the portable toilet. And she says, and she says she's much shorter than I am, and she's facing kind of downward with her head against my chest. And she says, "Who would have thought you'd be doing this for me?" And I thought, you're right. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I remember my mom saying the same thing. She spent the last year in a nursing home, and I was there almost every night, and it takes a toll on you. And even though it's coming, it's a blow when it hits.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I was saying. It's like you said, even when you know it's coming, it's like there's something snaps in your sensibilities to say, wow, that is the finality of passing. Someone's passing is always, I think it's passing to most people that have any compassion at all.
Yeah, and like, every philosopher has always written, it's an instant reminder of our own mortality.
Oh yeah, well, to bring a little levity to the issue, it's to quote a famous philosopher, "I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to be there when it happens."
Yeah. Irish like me tend to rely a lot on sayings like that, and the best thing to do is just be around. That's why something like this net is good. Be around people that smile and are not modeling, and will cheer you up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's one of the nice things about ham radio is it's predominantly upbeat, positive, and you can laugh at each other and have fun with everybody's problems, so to speak. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's probably the best medicine ever made, is the ability to not take yourself so seriously.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, I just tend to, if you haven't figured it out, I like to have fun myself, and that was my. It was kind of like, to quote Red Fox, the famous philosopher, and he said it was only one thing that kept him out of college, and that was high school.
Yeah, Red Fox is one of my favorite philosophers.
Yeah, he was great. You know what I've got to do? I've got his. If you remember the albums that he made, his comedy albums. I got one from the early 60s, and I think it's called Foxadelic. I think that's the name of the album. And it's from 62 or 3 or 4, some of the era. And I got to digitize that and put it on, share some of those pieces he did. They're really funny. By today's standards, it's supposed to be, you know, he was called a blue comedian in those eras. You know, in other words, he was a little bit, you know, racy, but by today's standards, it was nothing.
Yeah, having a couple of old Red Fox albums and maybe Richard Pryor's first, which was incredible. That would make for a, you know, I remember having a couple of those, but I don't think they survived all the damage from the parties in college.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. All right, very good, John. Good to have you in there. That's Whiskey 4 Alpha, Whiskey Echo. Great signal as always. And that's John over there in Bellevue. Yeah, it's interesting, John, about that barrier you have to your east is really a problem. Even to Dennis, who had a, you know, like I said, he was, if my meter went further, it would be 60 or 80 or it would be over 60, 80 or 90 plus, you know, but he's only, what'd you say he was to you?
He was bouncing around S3 or so, but very readable.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I got you. It's just that I would have expected him, well, except for the idea that I know that you have got that, you know, you're sitting behind the kind of a ridge there, so that obviously is. Well, in fact, how am I to you tonight?
You're about S8, S9.
Okay, very good. Well, again, I think that's part of the issue. You know, I mean, there's just more barriers between him and you than there are between you and me.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at his location to mine, you know, because you can only change, you know, like from you to me, you could sweep going left to right only 3 to 5 degrees and get blocked.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'd have to look at that too. I know I've done it before between, I don't know if I did it between him and you or not. I know I did it between you and Richard because he was envious that he couldn't hear you, even though I told him you were 60 over sometimes to me. So I'm laughing again because he was all ticked off because he couldn't hear you.
Yeah, and you know, Dennis, I'll have to plot that and see what it looks like when he switched to the horizontal. You know, that's something I was looking that up a few weeks ago in the ARRL antenna book, and sometimes we forget that at 2 meters, switching from horizontal to vertical is a 20 dB difference.
Oh yeah, you're right. If I did ever remember it, I forgot it. If I knew that, but yeah, that is a big difference.
Yeah, I mean 20 dB is basically almost inaudible.
Yeah. Yeah, that would explain a lot. But like I said, it was just funny to have him go from 60 over to S3 when he went to the from vertical to the when he went to the vertical 2 meter rig to the horizontally polarized beam.
Yeah, but that's really sort of to be expected. That's why I'm going to all the trouble to put up 2 different Yagis.
Yep, just a little expensive, that's all.
Yeah, I'll finally get it done. I'm working away at it. I'm going to try to take advantage of good weather and get a decent entrance panel put in tomorrow to get rid of this little temporary PVC through the wall.
Well, sounds good. It used to be right up my alley many years ago doing electrical work.
Yeah, in fact, I was waiting for some hole saws to arrive, which finally came this afternoon. It's just they're so much cheaper getting them from Acme Tool than from Home Depot.
And you probably get better ones.
Yeah, well, I wanted to get Milwaukee's got new ones that don't bind up that really work great. They have some side cuts in them.
Yeah, boy, did I push a lot of those. We had the best drill motor I ever used was a right angle drill motor. I can't remember the name on it now. I think it was a Miller's Falls, and I don't think Miller's Falls makes. And it was industrial strength. I mean, this thing, it had so much torque, and it was like a 200 or 300 RPM, and we used it for cutting holes in wood for mounting boxes. You know, like lighting system boxes on the side of a building. And you could hit a knot or a nail, and that thing, if you weren't careful, would either take off your jaw or would lift you off the concrete.
Milwaukee's battery version of the old-fashioned whole hog, that actually had two side handles. And this thing has got so much torque, it's a 90-degree. You don't dare use it without one of those side handles in place because it could break your arm almost.
Yeah, you're making me laugh because I remember you learn your lesson real quick what not to do with those things.
And Milwaukee got really smart on their battery tools, and they have an automatic torque limit that it cuts it off if it starts to, and it'll do it really, really quick if it starts to see it go into a backlash.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah, no, Milwaukee makes some fine tools. They really do. I mean, I don't know if you can get any better than them.
Yeah, sort of the old standard, the old whole hog.
Yep. Well, very good, John. That's Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo. Good to have you in there. Good signal. Good report there, too, on the other person's signals. And he's in Bellshire. Who else, West? Anybody else, West? Please come down. Going over to south of 40. Please come in. Boy, they all fell asleep south of 40. Please come down. It's K4 PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net, which our club is, I don't think I even said it on the air before, at least on the nets. It's Kilo November 4, Foxtrot, Kilo Victor with the Simplex Net out of Mount Juliet. Anybody south of 40, please come in.
K4NDN.
Oh, boy, you got some buzz in there. Are you on low power?
Let's see. Who are you speaking to?
Talking to David, man. Who else would I be talking to in Reedyville?
Well, yeah, no, I'm on medium power, and I do have a buzz on it.
Well, I don't think you have a buzz on it, but there's a buzz on the signal, and it almost sounds like transmission, power line noise.
Well, it could be. I was sitting here studying smart meters, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it's getting it by osmosis from the book.
Hey, those are remarkable things. They can transmit and receive all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I know. So I'm told. I know of them. I am not familiar with them, but yeah, we got smart meters and dumb. Yeah, that's right. I haven't heard that term in a while either. Dumb terminals. How's that?
Oh yeah, I remember those. Still play with them a little bit,
Yeah, I got you. So how are things going in Reedyville? I mean, besides the net, you guys meet monthly, do you, with the Rutherford Aries setup?
That is correct. We meet. We have our Aries meeting the third Thursday of the month at 7:00 p.m. at Stonecrest Medical Center in Smyrna.
Oh, great. What, do they use the conference room, or do they have another, like a meeting?
Yeah, they've got I would say it is a conference room. A very nice facility, and they've allowed us to use it for the last couple of years. It's just really a nice setting. Yeah,
sounds good. Well, let me announce that. That's David, Kilo India 4 November, Delta November. And he was just saying that their Aries group with the Rutherford County Aries meets the third Thursday of every month at the Stonecrest Medical Center. What time is that at?
That's at 7 p.m. You just enter in the emergency room exit and take a right. There we are.
Emergency room exit and take a right, and they'll put you in the trauma center and put you on drugs.
Well, as long as it's the right ones, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, we don't want the wrong ones, that's for sure. All right, very good. That's David, Kilo India 4 November, Delta November. He's in Reedyville, decent signal, a medium power, which I believe is 25 watts. And he's in he's a good shot down there. Dennis, are you still there?
Hey, I bumped it up high.
No, you're doing fine. That was like, I just noted it was either S7 or S8. Dennis in Castellian Springs, you still there?
Roger.
How are you copying David down there in Castellian Springs? I mean, down in Reedyville.
S3, but perfect readability.
Did you hear any of that noise on his signal?
No, I was kind of looking at an email, but I was listening sort of, but no, he was clear.
Okay, very good. Yeah, no, I don't think you were hearing him before, though, were you?
I didn't hear anybody west or south, hardly.
Okay, well, then you're doing great. You must be thrilled.
Oh, yeah. I want to try this beam out with somebody single sideband and see how that works. But anyway, back to net. I mean, I'm EOQ.
All righty, very good. Of course, that was Dennis again, just giving a signal report from David. David, you're being heard way up in Castellian Springs, north of Lebanon.
Okay, I flipped it down on low power just to see if he could pull me out or any noise there on that.
Dennis, Dennis, I'll copy David now.
I still copy him, very readable, but no reading on the meter.
Yeah, that's where I am too. No reading and just a very readable. And he's at low power, like 5 watts. So obviously your antenna is working great.
KI4 India, thanks, boss.
Yeah, very good. Again, Kilo India 4 November, Delta November, David in Reedyville. And that was a little test there with Dennis's new antenna up there in Castellian Springs. Who else south of 40, please come in?
Kilo Echo 4, Yankee Victor.
I don't even have to ask you, Larry. You're hearing everybody.
Yeah, I got the guy at Springs, Dennis.
Yeah, how strong was he to you?
About S3, good copy.
Oh yeah. Dennis, were you copying Larry before down there in over there in Rockville?
Never. S1 and readable.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like I said, it's always after I got this antenna, I was like you. I was like, really, those people I can hear. This is great. Yeah, good. Appreciate it, Larry. That was Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor in Rockville, being heard for the first time by Dennis up in Castellian Springs. Who else south? Please come in.
Whiskey 1, Kilo Oscar Mike, Glenn.
Hey, Glenn, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing reasonably good. It's a nice night and good to be on the air and being safe and dry. I'm happy.
I can understand that. It's still the same way sometimes.
Yeah, my wife was saying, and I often make that reference, and I don't know, it probably sounds like a broken record, but somebody was saying about how difficult it is to be in a small house. Like, oh yeah, that's what we were doing. We're goofing around and looking at apartment prices in New York City and in the Bronx, because I said they're really very expensive. My wife knew it, but she goes, I don't think they're that expensive. And I go, how about the cheapest one I could find in the Bronx was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath for like almost $1,500 a month. And she goes, man, that must be really cramped. And I go, well, it's going to be better than the cramp I had when I was in the Navy.
Yeah, I can imagine so. In the Navy, it'd be a luxury.
Oh yeah, no, we just because she said, well, I couldn't. She said, I think it was that's right. We were also looking at this mobile home, not looking at it, but it was in the show or something. She says, I couldn't live in one of those. I said, well, I have lived in a couple of those, so you can call me trailer trash. We joke about that really, and so she says, I couldn't live in something so cramped. I go, man, a mobile home is really luxurious compared to an old Navy ship.
Yeah, when you're young, you don't mind the space. You can make do without anything.
Oh, and yeah, you do. Absolutely. In fact, she was mentioning that too. She said that she lived in when she was 19 or 20, she lived in a really crappy apartment, like above a Chinese restaurant, aside from the fumes and the cramped spaces, but you just make do. It's not that big a deal.
That's it, yeah. It becomes good memories too. That's a fact.
Oh, absolutely. It's I had an apartment one time. I think it was $90 a month. Of course, this was 1969, I think, and it was a 3rd floor walk-up apartment. But it was great because it was in a shabby part of town where I lived, but I just didn't care because I really liked the apartment.
That's too funny. Some good places are hard to find, though, but they can become good memories.
Oh, absolutely. All right, that was Glenn, the Whiskey 1 Kilo Oscar Mike. Glenn, I forgot where you are.
I'm right across the lake from you, over here by Belrose, Edge of Lake, and all that.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking it was it, but I hate to be wrong right out of the box. I wasn't sure, but all right. That was Glenn, Whiskey 1 Kilo Oscar Mike, and he's over there at Bell Road on the west side of Percy Priest Lake. Who else? Wherever I was, south. Please come on. All right, we're moving over to late check-ins. Any late check-ins from north, south, east, or west? Got nothing. We're moving on. If you don't catch this, you're going to fall into that next really ugly category. All right, we're moving over to the lurkers, sandbaggers, lollygaggers, scanner listeners. Of course, they have to email me, and or the SDR donglers, or the preppers, or the what's next? Memory's going bad here. Oh, the end time survivalists. Please come in. All righty, got nothing. We got 19 check-ins. Good night. Nice, clear, beautiful night. And you heard some good reports on signals, good reports on new antenna systems and pending antenna systems. So it makes for a lot of fun. I think what's funny about that is just like the surprise you get with a new antenna system or a new height for an antenna system, and who everybody else is hearing just fine, and then you get to hear it for the first time. You go, oh man, that's just sweet. It's just nice that you can. It's like being involved in something that you weren't involved in before, so it makes it so much better. And of course, it also gives an opportunity to have QSOs with potential friends. I'll say, even though there's no non-friends here, it's just that we don't. It's nice to be able to connect names with faces and calls, and can't do that if you can't hear them. It's like if you can't hear them, there's nothing to talk about. So anyway, it's good to have you all on the air. It's K4PEW closing in it.